Monster Hunter World just around the corner, a lot of people are asking, what exactly is Monster Hunter? Well, Monster Hunter is an action RPG that'll have you hunt giant monsters. I mean, it's in the name, right? However, atypically to most RPGs, your hunter, the character you create and play as throughout the game, doesn't have any intrinsic abilities that alter over time. Health, stamina, magic, things like that. Instead, Monster Hunter offers progression through the gear and weapons that you craft. As you progress through the game, you fight bigger and tougher monsters, and it's through this process that you're able to craft new and more powerful gear. Equipping this gear is how you become stronger, and as such, this game also puts a bigger emphasis on player skill. At the end of the game, your hunter is technically no stronger than he or she was at the start, but the gear you've crafted and the combat experience you've acquired is what makes you the better hunter. The Monster Hunter series first started life back in 2004 on PS2, and since then it's made its way to PSP, 3DS, Wii U, Nintendo Switch, and now PS4, Xbox One, and soon PC. The series has for a long time been incredibly popular in Japan, and this is primarily due to its handheld presence. Handheld gaming is massive in Japan, with many people using their daily commute as a chance to play games, and given that Monster Hunter can be played both solo or with up to 3 other players, the social aspect to hunting with other people whilst out and about or at work is also what helped it grow in popularity. Over the years, the series has gradually grown in the West, with more and more people taking an interest, and that ultimately leads us to today, with the latest entry in the series set to launch worldwide. This, my friends, is Monster Hunter World. At the core of the game, you have the monsters. Think of each of these like individual boss fights. Each monster presents a different challenge with their own unique moves and behaviours. Monsters don't have health bars, so it's down to you, as the hunter, to gradually whittle down its health and observe it as you go. When monsters begin to slow down, drool, or even limp, you know you've got it on the ropes. But hunting monsters is only half the journey. After all, Monster Hunter is all about the loot. Every monster you hunt can be carved for parts, and it's with these parts that you're able to craft some truly incredible armor and weapons. Sure, you're going to start the game looking like this, a basic hunter that nobody will pay much attention to. But before you know it, you'll be looking like this, proudly wearing that monster's armor and wielding its scales, claws and tails as your trusty blade or gun. Remember that you're not alone in your journey. While you can embark on every aspect of this game alone, should you want to, remember that help is never far away. You can hunt with up to 3 other players to form a hunting party of 4, and together you can tackle the challenges that lie ahead. Everyone gets to carve the monster at the end, everyone gets their own loot, and as such, Monster Hunter has an incredible community built on cooperation. There really is no better feeling than working together with your fellow hunters to take down that giant monster. So, now that you've had a brief introduction to the series and you know what it's all about, let's round things out with some quick tips, things that you'll for sure want to keep in mind when setting foot in the new world for the first time. First up, gather and carve everything. When you explore the world, there are loads of resources to collect. Plants, seeds, ores, insects, fish, and most importantly, monster parts. If you played the beta, then you likely wouldn't have focused on this too much since there was no progression. But items, or for want of a better word, loot, is the lifeblood of Monster Hunter. When you defeat a monster, big or small, you can carve it to get parts, and these parts will be what you use to craft your armor sets. But armor can often require random parts too, ores, bugs, etc. So in short, get into the habit of grabbing that flower, picking up that bug, mining that ore, and without fail, carving those monsters. Another thing you want to get into the habit of doing is collecting monster tracks and trails. In its most basic form, this is how you locate the monster in the vast landscape ahead of you. The scout flies point out tracks, and when you begin to gather, they'll lead you to more tracks. Eventually, once you gather enough, they'll lead you to the monster, and at this point it's up to you to take it down. However, even if you find tracks for monsters you're not hunting, still collect them. Your scout flies level up outside of the individual hunts, and the more you train them, the less you'll have to do this in the future. Eventually you'll get to the point where your scout flies just locate the monster for you the second you load into the map or the quest, so the more research you do early on, the better your life will be. Also, super quick tip, don't forget that if you want to track something in particular, you can open up your map and click your right stick to pin your scout flies on it, so if the monster runs away, it's the easiest way to make sure you're going in the right direction. But you can also pin them to your teammates, to other items, resources, even smaller monsters. Basically, it's a great way to help you navigate your way around the map. Another important thing to note is that every weapon is viable. Monster Hunter is a game that offers choice, and while some weapons might look more powerful than others, believe me when I say that there is no bad weapon in Monster Hunter. It's about finding what works for you and going from there. Some weapons are fast and use that speed to dish out the damage, some are slower, with each hit offering incredible power, and some offer range over close combat. Try them out, see what you like, and most importantly, enjoy the ride. It's also important to understand that combat in this game is a little different. If you're picking it up for the first time, it might feel a little clunky, but that's just because this isn't your run-of-the-mill action RPG, where some action RPGs offer air dashes, fast-paced hack-and-slash combos, and godlike abilities that make you feel untouchable. Monster Hunter is about reading your target and making very deliberate moves to both evade and attack. Once you begin to understand the monster's moves and your own weapon, things begin to fall into place. You'll move more freely, feel more fluid, and in general, everything will make more sense. So take your time to understand your weapon, hit the training room if needs be, and by all means, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Finally, the most important thing to take note, if you're embarking on your monster hunting journey for the first time, take your time. Monster Hunter is a game that revolves around hunting monsters so that you can craft stronger armor and weapons, which in turn will help you hunt even stronger monsters later on. Sure, you can rush your way through some of the early stuff, but if you begin to hit a wall or encounter a target that is a little bit too tough, take the time to farm some new gear. Enjoy the process, build your badass collection, and then push forwards. Remember that failure is a part of the learning process. When you encounter a new monster for the first time, there's a good chance you're going to die, but in doing so you're learning its moves. Think of it like real life XP. That knowledge and experience is ultimately what will help you move forwards. Well, that and some good gear from that last monster that you just farmed. But for now, that is your general introduction to the world of Monster Hunter. If this is your first adventure, then stay tuned. I'm going to have tons of videos coming your way to explain absolutely every aspect of the game. Weapon guides, guides for monsters, handy tips, you name it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the hunt. If you did enjoy this video, then a like would be super appreciated. Of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, then by all means drop them down below. But otherwise, thank you for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.